I'm Bob Coleman, and we're talking Main Street and the small business lenders who help it grow. Hey, Lance Sexton did a great webinar on litigation plans, getting recovery of expenses. The key is we need to get litigation plans done and in the file to make sure we can recover legal expenses. Listen to what Lance had to say about this.
This is a great question. Lance, you've done some homework.
Well,
if we don't have a plan, can we get the 10 grand?
Bob, we did a webinar yesterday on litigation plans, and preparation of litigation plan, like we talked about earlier, must be done anytime there's litigation on an SBA loan. And one of the things I was talking about, you may have the best intentions of not exceeding the $10,000 limit that requires SBA's approval. And you get halfway through litigation, you realize that you needed SBA's approval. On a litigation plan, the only time it does need to be approved by SBA is if budgeted expenses exceed $10,000 or it is contested litigation. Now, best practice that I mentioned in the webinar yesterday, Bob, is if you've got a litigation budget coming from your legal counsel and that litigation budget is, say, $6,500 or $7,000, throw you a contingency in there and bring it up to $10,000 so you can get it approved by SBA. You will never, as a participant bank, be penalized for litigation that costs less than your budget. You can be penalized by not getting approval of a litigation plan and your expenses exceed $10,000. Now, the SOP language doesn't really address at what level can you get reimbursement if you blow past the $10,000 mark. I picked up the telephone and called someone at SBA who's in a director's position. We talked about the SOP 5057-2. I told them what my thoughts were, and they concurred. If you have a litigation plan and your legal fees exceed $10,000, it requires approval from SBA. That doesn't mean just the amount over $10,000, Bob. That's the full amount. So every dollar spent has to be on a litigation plan over 10K has to be approved. The answer from SBA is, let's say you spend $15,000 in litigation, don't do a litigation plan, don't get it approved. None of those expenses will be considered reimbursable by SBA because you did not complete a litigation plan and you did not get it approved. Now, I know there are a lot of banks who, when they do this, they want to submit $9,999. And the answer is you will not get reimbursed for that money. You need to have an approved litigation plan.
Check out this poll about SBA being your new regulator. 57% are concerned. Lance and I talked about that issue.
I want to follow up on the conversation that we had with Brent Trelina last week. I thought he was a great guest in Lance's absence. And Lance and I have been talking about this, and I just sort of want to get a sense of the industry. Are you personally concerned that SBA is more of a regulator now than ever? And I just want to get a sense of what people are feeling. And Lance, hold on before you weigh in. Let the votes come in. Okay, Lance, what do you say?
Well, I don't know. Most of our participant lenders probably should not be concerned because if you're operating prudently, there shouldn't be any concern that SBA is now in a position to be more of a regulator. Congress has taken great interest in SBA's regulation of their participant banks, and they're giving SBA more power and more tools to properly regulate their participant lenders. But if you're doing things the right way, if you're doing things prudently, I don't see what difference.
I agree with you, Lance. If you make a mistake and you have one file that doesn't have the credit elsewhere certification, you are not going to be fined for that. You're going to have issues if you totally ignore credit elsewhere in every file. Common mistakes are not going to be hammered by SBA to you. Where you are going to have an issue is if you're, quote, a rogue lender, and we all know who those are. If you're pushing the envelope, then you're going to have an issue. So for you, 57%, I would not lose sleep over it. It is another hammers, as I use that word, in SBA's toolkit to go after lenders. But from what little I've read in the intent of what the agency is doing, I don't see that as a concern. It needs to be on your radar, but I wouldn't lose sleep over it.
Well, and the thing about SBA, Bob, we've talked about this so many times on webinars, on Coleman Report Live. SBA doesn't want to play gotcha. That's not what they're into. If you make a mistake on a loan, that's fine. But if you have a portfolio of 50 loans and you have the same mistake in all 50 loans,
they already have the ability to repair a guarantee, to deny a guarantee. They're not going to go above and beyond and fine you unless there's egregious mistakes. And the common mistakes, as SBA has said over and over, is there are lenders who are not even addressing credit elsewhere certification in their credit memos, or they're not wrapping up their loans. So that's where you have a concern.
America West, it was nice catching up with friends, and here's an exchange Jennifer Davis and I had at Rancho Mirage. I'm in America West, Rancho Mirage. It is so nice coming to these conferences because you bump into old friends. Jennifer Davis, TMC Financing, Coleman SBA BDO Professional of the Year. I don't think I've seen you since then.
I don't
Welcome.
think so.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me
What brings you
today.
to America West?
Just the opportunity to network and visit with a number of professionals in the area and get to talk to my competition, get to talk to a number of lenders, meet new people, and then very much appreciate the update from the SBA that we'll receive tomorrow. The SBA has definitely supported this program on a regional level and on a national level, and I recall this event last year in Orange County. Appreciated the update at the time from the leader, and looking forward to hearing from SBA regarding some of our priorities for the coming year.
Jennifer, tell us what you do.
I'm a Certified Development Corporation, TMC Financing. We serve individuals that are seeking the 504 program, and I am the conduit for between the SBA, the lender, and the client.
Now, it came out yesterday that we're under 4% on a 20-year debenture for 504. I assume that is good for you, good for TMC Financing, and good for Main Street.
Absolutely. So our 20-year interest rate, again, as you mentioned, is sub 4%, and that's 20-year fixed money or fully amortizing money. We also have a 25-year loan program at 4.08. So I'm absolutely reaching out to all of my clients, lenders, brokers that are considering purchasing. By all means, this is the time to do it with that type of pricing.
Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Finally, Adam Siri stopped by, Harvest Small Business. Listen to the short interview I had with him. America West, Rancho Mirage, what is it, 125 out there? I don't know.
115 yesterday.
And you were playing golf.
We were playing golf. It's hot.
Hey, tell us about Harvest Small Business Finance. Let's start with your product. Let's start with the SBA products.
Sure. So Harvest Small Business Finance is the SBA entity. That's where we fund all of our 7A real estate loans. Harvest Commercial Capital is what houses the 504 and our conventional in-house product as well.
And your numbers have been amazing since you've started 7A.
Yeah, we're actually a little down year over year, 7A from last year, but we've made up for that in 504 and conventional financing.
Yesterday it was announced 3.98% debenture.
Incredible.
That's got to be awesome for your 504 product.
Yeah, 504 is just a lot more advantageous. The inverted yield curve, obviously, 7A is tied to prime, so those rates are in the 7.5 to 8 world. You got 504 products now where you have a blended rate down in the 4s, so you can see why the mix has shifted from the 7A world to the 504 world.
Product niche, what do you specialize in?
All owner-user commercial real estate.
Okay.
We're a little different than everybody else. We are just real estate professionals. That's what we focus on doing, and that's where we get a majority of our volume.
What do you think about the event?
The event's been great. I went to the one last year. I actually like this location better. The attendees have been great. The vendors have been great. We had a great happy hour last night that we threw. Very well attended.
Thanks to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So so far so good, and we'll see how it finishes up tomorrow.
Adam, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Happy 4th of July. Enjoy your picnics. Thank you for joining us today for the Coleman Report Update and for supporting America's Main Street, one entrepreneur at a time.